Hi, I'm Italia Oliver, and if it's your first time to the channel, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification to be notified of the latest videos. Today, I'm sharing with you an audio channeling with Archangel Haniel. And she actually came through after a channeling I had done with Lightkeeper, and she also wanted to speak. It was kind of not planned, and these things just sort of happened, and that was this channeling. My husband, again, is asking her questions as she's shown up, so we're kind of just going with that. But the discussion evolved, and she shared about discernment, especially within the spirit world, and relationships with different beings within the spirit world, and just how important it is to be able to discern. So, and you've met Archangel Haniel before in other videos. She's also on my channeling playlist as well. But I hope that you enjoy this discussion with Haniel as she shares some really important information, and I'll be back afterwards. So, enjoy.
Hello, Archangel Haniel. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Is there any way I can be of assistance today?
We'd like to hear from you in regards to anything you might be willing to share with us about human relationships or ways to improve relations between those on our planet.
Well, it always goes back to love, as you know. It always falls back to that, but there are some that continue to slander others, to hurt others, but they're only blinded by their own ego, and they don't see past the spiritual aspects of themselves. They only see what's physically in front of them, yet they don't see the reality, that true reality is beyond what they can see what in front of them. And that may sound like a paradox to most people, but when the veil is gone and it is lifted and people see beyond that, then they know that there is more to life than they can see, and that things are not always as they appear.
Can you explain that a little bit more when you say things are not always as they appear?
Yes, things are not always as they appear. This instrument actually experienced that the other day while in the car, driving down the freeway. We had told her, after a reading she had done, we had told her to go to this particular store, and it was about a half an hour away, and she decided to go. And we, as she was driving to this on the 22 East, we had told her to look up. And when you looked up into the sky, when she looked up into the sky, she didn't see anything there. Most people don't see anything up there other than plains or clouds or the blue sky, depending on the day. But we asked her to look up, and when she looked up, she saw a flash of light. Now, in the distance, there were other planes. There was a plane, actually two, in fact, in the airfield at that time. But when she looked up, she saw a flash of light. And then it stopped, and then it flashed again, this bright, brilliant white light. And then it stopped, and then it flashed again. And then it was gone. Now, that was us. We were there. Particularly, it was Dawn Hotway, her feline family connection, aboard craft. And it was there. So you can look up into the blue sky and see the blue sky, but there's more there than you can see. And certain individuals may have the ability to see beyond that whenever they are ready to lift their own veil. And so things are not always as they appear. But we told her at that time to look up because it was there. And it was to show that it was there, that we exist. So again, there's more than what there appears to be.
Now, some people will ask, well, why does that happen to me? Can you explain how somebody might be prepared to receive such messages like you've described?
Well, there's also acts of initiation to a certain degree. Acts of initiation in being open to having that happen to them, to even feeling that it was possible. Life is really only the reflection of what we allow ourselves to see. And so if it's not in our mind to really even believe or conceive that, then it may not happen. There are signs all around people all the time, synchronicities, as you call them on your planet. They're really not even synchronicities at all. It's just all around you all the time. It's whether you choose to notice them or not. The more you can open up to those synchronicities, as you call them, or these things, there is phenomena that exists beyond what you can see with your own two eyes. So the more you can be open to that, then the more that those things will show themselves to you so that you can experience that. The more you let go of any heavy weights of your traumas or things like that that hold you back or hold you down, the more you can experience, because the lightness of your being also matters as well. So there are things that you can do, like those things of being open, allowing, being able to receive, asking. But when you ask, it is very important that you ask with protection in mind. There are all types of entities that exist in the spirit world. It's the same as it is on your planet. It's just a reflection, as above, so below. And so you have to be mindful as well of what is it that you're contacting, what is it that you are, because your perception, your ability to see, you need to know that you must think of it as you're making contact with these strangers and you don't know who they are and you can't see them per se. There are some who are more able to see than others. You term it as clairvoyance. But it is that you need to make sure that the relationship that you are having with whatever said entity is of the highest peace, love, and light. Some use of the Christ vibration. It is whatever it is for you, but it is that you want to be drawing to you that which is, as you may term on your planet, good. Energy is just energy, right? It is the intention behind the energy that matters. So you'll have to be discerning in the intention of the energy behind whatever it is that you're communicating with. It is not something that you just want to go and do. It is something that you are intentional about if you want to make connection and contact. So openness, your willingness, and you simply ask, but do it in a way that is protective of your energy. For you don't want to draw to you beings that don't have your highest good in mind, for there are many out there that don't have your highest good in mind and want to draw from your energy. Remember, again, everything is energy. And so when you understand that, and you can look at the world in a different way when you understand that.
How would one identify these beings of a negative sense?
In the way that they work with you. If they are saying negative things to you, or making you feel bad, or you feel down after contact, you don't feel uplifted or joyful. These are signs of entities that you want to stay away from, or if they make you feel as if you just don't feel like yourself, you feel irritated or depressed or down. So these are things that you must guard yourself from, for these are not entities that have your highest good in mind. You find yourself maybe doing things you wouldn't normally do, that aren't healthy for you, engaging in behaviors that are not healthy or normal. These are all hallmark signs of negative entities, or you feel like they don't leave you alone. They keep bothering you.
Is it possible to put a name on these entities? I mean, we think of them as paranormal ghosts. How would people label these if they were to come in contact?
There are all types of labels that people have termed these things: demons, goblins, fairy folk. They're all these types of creatures, these interdimensional beings that live. But I must caution you that in all sides there are all different types of beings that you may label them as. But the important thing is that they are not, the energy of themselves is not negative. It is the intention behind that. And so understanding that the intention behind the energy is just energy. So that's why actually there's nothing to fear in regards to them. But it is something that you must learn to discern for yourself. And so understanding that. But there are all types of entities, as you call them on your planet, that may come to you that you may term as negative. Their intention is negative. The energy itself is not negative, but it is their intention and what they choose to be.
Great. So we need to protect against those things and make sure we're communicating with the beings of higher light. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that it is essential. For there's all types of things out there that we can't see. And so when you cannot see them, it is even more important that you are developing, even in the relationship that you create with these beings. You are building a trust, you are building this relationship with them. And so it is important that you see whether or not they follow through, just as you would in any relationship with your human counterparts. It's the same thing. So you would see if they are exactly what they say they are, if you can trust in what they are telling you. And the more you build trust, the more you feel good, as you call them, vibrations. The more you can do that, then the more you build that relationship with them, and then that's good.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us today, Haniel. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today about these important topics that many do have questions about. It is not something that you go into the spirit world lightly with. There are many who, unfortunately, go into the spirit world not understanding the as you may call them, the rules or ramifications of just diving in. And so knowing these things beforehand is truly important.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the information that Archangel Haniel shared. It's funny that she threw in that story that happened just this past week. This is February of 2020, but she did that just this past week that happened to me on my drive. I literally gotten finished with a reading with a client. I was making my lunch, and I just heard go to, it was a particular store and out in Orange, and this is in California. And I heard that, and I was just like, okay, you know, I was going to buy a couple things from that store anyway, but I wasn't planning on going anytime soon. And yeah, I heard the word. I was like, okay, well, I'll just go, you know. So I'm just driving along on the 22 East, you know, just, I don't know, I might have been listening to music or Jimmy Church or something. And I just hear these words, look up. And I look up into the blue sky, see maybe a couple planes, but I just look up in the sky at this particular point. There's nothing there. Then they say, look up again. And it was like, no, look up. And I look up, and then I see this, you know, the flash of light, just as she described it. And there was no other planes around. There was a couple planes in the sky, but they were further along. So what I'm saying is that if there was a plane or somehow it caught the reflection of the sun or whatever, I would have still been able to see the plane, but there was nothing there. And it was just these three, like it flashed, then it flashed again, then it flashed again, and then it was just gone. And I'm still driving. And then actually after that, I heard the words, you can go home now. But I ended up keeping on driving because I was like, well, I'm already out this far, so I'm just going to keep going. But they said, you can go home now. And that was us, you know. They let me know that that was them. And yeah, so those things do happen. So, you know, she's really right when she says, you know, things are not always as they appear. And that would be a great example of that, you know, you can look up in the sky, see nothing, and then you see this other thing, and there's more there. There's probably a lot more going on in the sky than anyone can see, right? And so there's just a lot more in this world around us, just these different dimensions that are existing all around us that are happening simultaneously. So, and I really, listening back to what she was sharing about protection and just discernment and having that discernment, it is really, really important. And nobody should just go diving into the spirit world without knowing these things that, you know, all of these different types of interdimensional beings exist, that it's the intention behind the energy as well. Energy in and of itself is not, you know, negative or positive. It's the intentions behind that energy, right? So knowing those things are really important too. So she gave some good pointers on that. And then just being open. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You want to have contact. You want to make sure that the contact is good contact, right? And so being open to the possibilities of that, asking, but you're asking for, you know, beings of the highest light to work with you or to help you. That's what you're looking for. So I hope that you enjoyed listening to her, what she had to say. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and share. That really helps me. And check out my channeling playlist. I have other channelings on there with other beings. And I wish you well, and take care till next time.